Class is in session. Welcome to the Hitting the Book Show, Monday, April 13th. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack with you, ready to break things down. We got hockey and baseball today. That's it. Moneyline sports. Get this point spread bullshit out of here. No point spreads today.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. Come on now. Hell yeah.
Yeah, there we
Love
go.
it.
Yeah, no doubt. So it's all hockey, all baseball on this Monday edition of the show. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Again, now we're going to get into this.
I'll fix it later.
Yeah, you look fine. You sound fine, just so you know.
Oh, I know. Things are just my own shit. It's all good. We're all good. We're all good.
Good stuff. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to basically get into the routine. It's mostly going to be a baseball show, for the next, I would say, 2 months at least. We'll sprinkle in a little NHL, NBA, because the playoffs are certainly about to start in both. But most of the show will be baseball, of course, moving forward. And we will be on as usual, Mondays, Tuesdays, free for all, Wednesdays, Fridays, members only. That will be the schedule moving forward as usual. No shows Thursdays because there's never many MLB games Thursdays anyway. So it'll be a Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, night games. Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, free for all. Wednesday, Friday, members for the Hitting the Book Show schedule moving forward. All right, we'll start, though, quickly with NHL because we do have a full NHL slate, 10 games tonight in the NHL. The problem is the good situational spots, the line's moved already. Like if you got Philadelphia, even money against a Carolina team resting a lot of their players, great. And now at minus 150, it's moved just way too much. It's obviously the biggest regular season game for the Philadelphia Flyers in years as they try to clinch a playoff spot for the first time in 7 years. Obviously, they have a great chance here to get the job done. The problem is you could add even money on the Flyers, and now it's minus 160, right? That's the problem you're dealing with right now there. Couple overs I like. Dallas, Toronto. I think there's going to be goals there. I initially, C-Mac, liked the Rangers-Florida game over, but I changed my mind on that for one very specific reason. And you know why that is? Jonathan Quick, the legend, Stanley Cup champion, his last game, he's retiring after the season. This will be his last start in the NHL. If there's ever a night where you're going to try defensively, you would think it's tonight for the New York Rangers. I mean, let's send this guy out on a high here, on a winning note. Let's actually give a damn defensively a little bit at least in this game.
Doesn't always happen, though.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
But yeah.
You would think they would in that one. St. Louis is another one, right? I think you could parlay Flyers and Blues now if you didn't bet them initially because you still get that at a decent two-team money line parlay price. But that's another one that's moved a lot because Minnesota is sitting Boldy and Kaprizov and Quinn Hughes, and all those guys are going to be missing here for the Wild tonight. The other game I like in the late night hours, I like Edmonton. I cashed a ticket betting against Colorado Saturday, took Vegas. Colorado's clinched and locked everything up first in the Central, #1 seed in the West. Edmonton's still trying to win a division. To me, it's a bit of a motivational mismatch in that game. So I took Edmonton. And Edmonton's off a shutout loss Saturday to the LA Kings, 1-0. So I think there's actually a little bit of an onus on the Oilers. Let's bounce back at home. I think that this game, they're more invested into this game, the Oilers, than the Avalanche are. So I took Edmonton there as a slight home underdog. C-Mac, anything you like on the ice tonight?
Yeah, there is a few. I like. I don't mind the Oilers as well there. I think there's some value. I mean, with at least the 5.5, it's a little bit of juice. Minus 125, but and they're just off that 1-0 game. But Kings Kraken, I take the over 5.5 there. I still think we can get goals in that game. That was about it. Detroit, Tampa, I kind of lean over. You talked about the move to the Blues. It's just gone crazy. Now all the way to minus 180. You have to lay the minus 1.5. And give me the Jets. Give me the Jets here. I think I might split it up, but I'm definitely going to be on first period.
Yeah.
I think with Vegas, everything's a little different, of course, with the coaching change. But this team's been awful off OT, even off a win at home. That's 10 straight off OT in first period. They have lost at home as a favorite. Yeah. So, not a great number. I love that number. So I'll take the Jets to first period. I think it's plus 130, I think was the best number I got.
Yep.
I definitely like that. I might have a little full game, but first period, see the Jets jump on the Golden Knights. A little sleepy spot after the big win against the Avs.
And well, at least when Bruce Cassidy was still coaching earlier this season, they came home off the road trip. They weren't always good in those spots. I remember that. I know that.
Oh yeah, that's why that record is great.
Yeah, and this is off a 4-game road trip, so I'm a little leery of that. And I get why the reasons for Winnipeg. You stated them so well. It's my concern is do they still give a shit because they didn't play like it against Philadelphia on Saturday night. I mean, they were still mathematically very much alive in the playoff race going into that game, and they get bombed 7-1 at home by the Philadelphia Flyers. So is there anything left emotionally for the Winnipeg Jets? I guess we'll find that out here tonight. All right, let's get into MLB. One game is already underway, and it's a game that I'm very happy about the way it's going because I split a Seattle run line -1 and team total Mariners in that game, and they are off to a very, very good start. 6-2 they are up now on Houston. I've been fading the Astros that whole series pretty much. They are a beaten up, injury-riddled mess. Their pitching's been a disaster. It has not been a good weekend for the Houston Astros. So, like I said, definitely one of those situations where just been fading a riddled team, and that's Houston right now. So off to a good start with that. On we go to the rest of this Monday slate in MLB. We will begin with the Chicago Cubs taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Javier Assad, Christopher Sanchez, the pitching matchup here. Philly -180, home favorites 8.5 the total. I mean, Christopher Sanchez at home, I don't bet against him. I don't. I think it's for the Phillies. This I think is a great bounce back spot. But can they hit for crying out loud? My goodness, the offense has just been stagnant, and we saw it over the weekend against Arizona. Not always consistent at the plate. You got to be able to score runs in baseball to win games. We're not geniuses saying that, but it's the truth at the end of the day. No matter what Sanchez does, and I think Sanchez can probably shut down this. It's not like the Cubs are an offensive juggernaut right now either, but I mean, I like Philly in this spot. I think the -1 run line is definitely a strong lean for me. It's just not easy to pull the trigger on it with the Phillies' woes at the plate, but definitely Phillies -1 is the way I would look in this game. Sanchez at home has been really, really, really good the last couple of years. C-Mac, what do you think here?
I know he has been really good because that takes out – he'd have to give up some runs. And go back to a couple of years ago, Cubs got them, some of these guys in the lineup, the few starts, because I don't think he faced them last year. I have to double check. But anyways, he had a couple tough starts, and a few of these Cubs hit him. So, wind blowing out. There's a few games today we'll go through, wind blowing out here, 10 to 15, depending on what you're looking at. But can the bats get going? They kind of have a big inning. They've had nothing else. The Phillies get shut down by the D-backs bullpen, even in that series. But one thing is why I look just to isolate maybe the Phillies or their team total too is I don't trust Assad. Off a good start. Before that, he had gave up 7 runs in a couple of his AAA starts. And he's been traditionally bad on the road. He's just a guy been better through his career at home. So, yeah, Phillies kind of team total if you trust it. That's how I felt in this game. I think they can at least get there. Bryce Harper, I'd look at him too. Decent numbers. Of course, in the 3-hole today, his RBI's +150 and the bomb +400.
Good stuff. All right, on we go now. Next up, we've got Arizona and Baltimore. We've got Ryan Nelson. Look who's here, Mr. Dean Kramer, Cosmo Kramer back in our live again for the Orioles in this one. 125, -125 Orioles home favorites, 9 the total, shaded to the under. Orioles bats started to get going a little bit over the weekend at home against the Giants. That is good to see. This team should be hitting better than they were early in the season. I'm just not enamored, C-Mac, with what I've seen out of Ryan Nelson. I just don't think it's been that strong here early in the season from him. I think Baltimore can maybe hit to him. I know it's a warm night, wind blowing out a little bit at Camden Yards tonight. So at 8.5, I grabbed over. I can see people agree because this total's up to 9 now. I agree with the move, though. I think there's runs tonight in this one. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, another good weather. Wind blowing out in this game. And a few guys, it's really, I don't love the back half of this Orioles lineup. So, and Alonso, it's a decent numbers, 5 for 11, and of course Gunnar.
By the way, that's Jack of the Day. I'll give it away right now. Give it away now. Red hot.
Give it away now.
Pete Alonso. That's my number 1 home run prop tonight. Pete Alonso +360. He's destroyed Ryan Nelson in the past. So
yeah. I like him and or Gunnar Henderson, who's been hitting jacks. Just 2 for 4 off him, but you got to think those are the guys who get to him. On the other side, I don't love Nelson here, but I lean the D-backs first 5 a little bit. Still plus money. Think they could score some runs off good old Dean. We'll see what we get from him. And I like Carroll, 3 for 6. It's been up and down, streaky a little bit, which is normal for guys. But I'll take his RBI plus 150. This line's been dropping too. Even his home run, it's kind of been dropping all day from 450 down, and it's down to 350 or even lower in some spots. I think Corbin Carroll been kind of picking the right. Perdomo, of course, I love him in the 3. RBI guy last year we talked about, sneaky, being hitting through 3rd or 4th. And Marte's kind of been slow out the gates, finally gotten going in that last series against the Phillies. So even right back to him, I think you could look at.
Good stuff there. All right, on we go to Washington, Pittsburgh. Cade Cavalli, Paul Skeens on the mound here. Pittsburgh minus 220, home favorite, 7.5 the total in this game. This is one where weather makes you want to bet it over. Paul Skeens on the mound maybe makes you want to pump the brakes on betting the over, but it is another night where the wind's kind of blowing out. It's kind of hitter conditions a little bit, PNC Park. And PNC Park's not a big homer hitter-friendly park normally, but the weather is definitely more conducive tonight to runs being scored. And we did have seen Skeens not exactly be smooth sailing through a couple of these starts. He's had a couple little bumps here and there in the early going. We'll see what we get from Cade Cavalli. He's been a mixed bag early in the season. Weather kind of has, and it's set with the total only being 7.5. It's pretty low. It is kind of pointing to a hitter-friendly night, so maybe a lean to the over, but I can't say I'm in love with it. What do you think here, C-Mac? Nats and Pirates?
Yeah, Nick, D-backs, the last few days are good. I still don't think their bullpen's very good, but they have been good lately, for sure.
We'll find out tonight. Have they turned it around the last few days, or did the Phillies make them look good? We'll find out. Yeah.
We'll see. There's something up and down in 162 games of late. It's still, they got a 4.5 ERA in the bullpen. I still think, whether they rank at all teams 22nd or something like that.
Yeah,
exactly. I have to double check. They're still kind of towards the bottom. That's the Nats problem. Just talking about a little bit on their bullpen. It's not very good. They've been scoring runs though. Seems scrappy. Beat up on the Brewers. And you know what? This price is too huge with Skeens. And what do we get? We talked about the wind a little bit more left to right, but kind of blowing out to left. This was tough on the total because I kind of lean under. And when I lean that way, that leans, give me the Nats. I like a first 5. It's plus 200. But I know if this game's going to be low scoring too, if Skeens is on the mound, just a 1-1 game. Something like, 2-2, I'll take the plus half. I got plus 122 is the best number. I talk about I don't do that too much because I never turn a dog into a favorite. But with plus 200, I'm still getting plus 122. You can kind of split it. But I think the half run is important in a game like this, first 5. And I don't want their bullpen at all. So Nats, first 5, plus the half, plus 122. I'm on. I think there's value here with this team.
I don't hate it. How many times have I said it on this show? I ain't ever putting a penny on the Pittsburgh Pirates with Paul Skeens on the mound because I'm always paying.
I've heard you say that.
Yeah, I'm paying through the nose every time he starts because it's a tax. It's the Skeens tax. That's ridiculous. Minus what, 220 here in this game. Yeah. The value is Washington. At the same time, I'm not rushing to bet against him because he's so fucking good half the time. So So that's the problem. Yeah, that's why when it's a Paul Skeens start, there's a good chance I'm not even involved in the game. All right, next up, we've got looks like Angels and Yankees. Yusei Kikuchi, the lefty for the Angels. Will Warren for the Yankees. Yanks minus 180, home favorites, 9.5 the total. I agree with this total going up. Now, I know the Yankees did not hit over the weekend against Tampa Bay, and this goes back to the A's series at Yankee Stadium last week, that the Yankees have really gone through an extended stretch of scuffling and struggling at the plate, and they can go through these kind of ruts. They did it last year a bunch of times where they just stopped hitting, for like 6, 7, 8 games. But my gosh, if they're ever going to snap out of it, it's tonight because they own lefty pitching. They've always been a lineup that's very dangerous against left-handed pitching. Kikuchi is not someone I fully trust. It's going to be a warm night, wind carrying out. He gives up fly balls and home runs sometimes. So I think the recipe is set for the Yankees maybe to get out of their doldrums offensively here tonight. But I don't trust Will Warren either. And the Angels are hitting the ball. I mean, I cashed a ticket with the Angels yesterday. I backed them at a near pick 'em against the Reds with Soriano, the road warrior. How many times have we talked about Yoel Soriano being so good on the road for the Angels? And he continued it yesterday against Cincinnati. He's a bet-on pitcher on the road for the LA Angels, and he proved it again yesterday. They're hitting right now. Their offense is in pretty good form. I think they can get to Warren, maybe crack some runs against that Yankee bullpen as well. So 9 the total. I bet it at 9. It's up to 9.5. I still think it goes over. I think we could hit double digits tonight with these two teams. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, everything sets up like this is a spot for the Yankees to break out. Just runs were tough to come by in the Rays series, but no way I'm going to trust him. No way, no how. Kikuchi on the road is a little bit of a question mark. Has not looked good these last couple starts, but I've always had, other than fading him 4 or 5 years ago, it just seemed easy. He's been tough to figure out, but more of a fade on the road, of course, than at home, I think. So there could be runs. I think it's just too high now with the total. I'm off. Angels scrappy too. I think they could be. They're going to lose a lot of games, but I think at least for now, at the beginning of the year, before everything, they could hang around. I would take them too, Angels here, even though it seems like a good spot for the Yankees. Yankees, some of their problems, the hitting, these guys not getting walks, the strikeouts, the errors we see. I was talking about the Yankees a couple years. Yeah, base running.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, kind of the old habits we're showing there against the Rays.
Totally agree. Bad habits, and it creeps up every now and then for the Yankees when they start to struggle, and they are in that rut right now where, again, their offense has kind of gone downhill a bit the last few games. All right, next up, we've got, as we roll along, it is, here we go, Miami and Atlanta. Yuri Perez, Grant Holmes on the mound. We've got Atlanta minus 145, minus 150 home favorites, 8.5 the total. I'd lean Marlins at this price, but Yuri Perez is just, and I thought he'd be okay. I actually was thinking, this guy's got potential. I got to see him turn it around before I back him. It hasn't been a great start here for Yuri Perez. I don't want to lay this with Atlanta, though. So this is the one game on the card where I don't have nothing pregame on it, other than Drake Baldwin. That is one of my home run props. I think
I'm on him. Me too.
Drake Baldwin for Atlanta. He's been really good. I think he's cracked a home run in 1 or 2 games in a row. I think he's on a consecutive game homer streak, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And plus 530. He's also had success against Yuri Perez in the past. So Drake Baldwin homer prop, the only thing I got in this game. And it sounds like C-Mac likes it too.
Yeah, I don't think he got anything yesterday, but I think he got an RBI sacrifice 5. Or ground out in yesterday's game. But I'll take him here until he kind of cools off. 303, 17 RBIs in the 2-hole. I'm on the RBI plus 175. I'm all over it and on it in this game. Yeah, the price with the Braves, it's a little bit high here. They broke out yesterday. I love backing a team like that. They do have some decent numbers off Perez, but nothing I wanted to get involved with.
All right, on we go. Next up, Boston and Minnesota. Garrett Crochet, the ace of this Red Sox rotation on the mound. Bailey Ober for the Minnesota Twins. Boston minus 160, road favorite, 7.5 the total. Twins took 2 of 3. Twins have had a nice run. They beat the heck out of Detroit last week, and then they took 2 of 3, although the Jays are really injury-riddled. But still, going to Toronto, take 2 of 3. Well done by the Minnesota Twins. They're playing some better baseball. Their lineup certainly is hitting right now. I don't know about their pitching, and I don't know about Bailey Ober. He's not someone I necessarily trust. I think you got to give Boston the advantage. Boston's a team after the slow start starting to come to life a little bit as well. The Red Sox playing a little better baseball the last 5 to 7 days. So both of these teams are on the uptick. I like Boston team total here. You can get over 3.5 in this game. I think they can get that against Ober. The Twins bullpen still isn't that great. So I like the Red Sox team total over 3.5, especially. If it wasn't Crochet on the mound, I'd lean to the full game over. I still do, but will Minnesota be able to score against Crochet's? But their offense is in good form. So I kind of am intrigued by the full game over, but I liked even more the Red Sox end of it, the team total over 3.5 for Boston. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, it's been like over a week or longer. Twins, most of these games scoring 4 runs or more. So can they get to Crochet? I don't know. I think the values with them a little bit. You talked about the Red Sox kind of offense was gonna perk up here if they're just being so bad and scored some runs those last couple games against the Cardinals. But I don't trust them, and not at this price.
Right.
No way. So I'm off.
All right, on we go to Cleveland and St. Louis. Gavin Williams and Matthew Liberatore on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cleveland minus 115 road favorites, 8 the total here in this one. Not the biggest fan of Liberatore. I think Cleveland might be able to have some success here in this particular matchup. I like Gavin Williams, though. He's pitched real well to start the year, 2.12 ERA on the season entering this matchup. He's given up just 4 runs in his first 3 starts combined. So 4 runs over a span of 17.2 innings. Real strong stuff from Gavin Williams. Like I said, Liberatore got hit around a little bit last time he pitched against Washington. 4 runs, 9 hits, 5 innings in that game. We'll see if he can bounce back. I bet Cleveland here. Now, the one concern is it is the Sunday Night Baseball angle, and I normally hate going against that because Cleveland was on Sunday Night Baseball last night against Atlanta, and now they're playing the next night with travel. I don't always like that situation, but I am definitely I definitely think favor, I should say, Williams over Liberatore. So I do lean Guardians here. Yeah, Nick, another home run prop for me. We have to take him. He's red hot, Jordan Walker. And I like Williams. It may not be easy to get a homer against Gavin Williams, but Jordan Walker, he's the guy that's on that 2-game home run streak for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, he's great.
He's been just terrific to start the year. This is a guy that they had a lot of promise for the last few years, and this year it looks like he's going to have that breakout year for the Cardinals. Boy, is he seeing the ball well right now out of the pitcher's glove, and he has just been flashing that power all season long. You can get up to plus 520 for him to hit a home run tonight, and he has gone hit a jack in back-to-back games for the Cardinals. So yeah, I think at that price, plus 520, you got to take a piece of Jordan Walker to go yard once again for St. Louis. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, speaking of it, yeah, Kikuchi has some decent numbers. That game last year he pitched against the Yankees, I think it was at home. It was a 1-0 game. Yankees won 1-0. But yeah, he does have decent numbers in his whole career. But I don't trust him too much. But I'd take the Angels that you talked about over this Yankees team. Definitely first 5 for sure. Man, this is another game. Wind's kind of blowing out the left to right a little bit to left field in this game. I want to trust these pitchers a tad bit. I don't know if I can looking at it, but I want to. I was looking at the under here, even the first 3. I like the first 5 of this first 3. I got a minus 115, 2.5. We know Cleveland, they're not scoring a ton of runs. And one thing is Williams, though. This seems like this could be, he's going to get hit maybe. But to tell you the truth, other than Walker, this Cardinals team has not been swinging it.
Yep.
Well, Burleson, matches up well against Williams, a few guys. But other than that, I think he could pitch all right. So first 3 under 2.5, minus 115 for me.
All right, on we go now. Next up, actually, we got just the 2 late games left. We've got Texas taking on the Athletics. Nate Eovaldi for the Rangers. Luis Severino for the A's. Texas minus 130 road favorites, 8.5 the total. Throw out the pitchers in the current form for just a second and just think situationally and travel-wise what this game sets up as. The A's are coming back from the East Coast. Phenomenal road trip out there. Played the Mets well. Played the Yankees well. Very, very impressive road trip. And now you're coming back home. First game off a very long, very, very successful winning road trip. Just from a pure spot perspective, it seems terrible, this spot for the A's. It really, really does. Not to mention Severino is better on the road than he is at home. He has not pitched well at Sutter Health Park here in Sacramento since they moved here. Texas, meanwhile, they're coming off a series in L.A. against the Dodgers. They get to stay on the West Coast. So the situation will scream Texas here. Huge advantage for the Rangers. Probably have a little bit the better pitcher on the mound, too, in Eovaldi. So I bet some Texas here minus. I know I don't like going against the A's. They're red hot right now, but I just think it's a bad spot. We don't talk bad spots often in baseball, CMAC, but to me, it's a really tough spot for the Athletics. So I think it's Rangers or pass for me. Maybe a lean to the over here at 8.5. That's pretty low for a game in this ballpark. What do you think here, CMAC, Texas and the A's?
Well, I think that's what the books are showing. I mean, by 9 to 8.5 with the total. I kind of like, hey, this isn't a bad spot. And other than that 11-run outburst they had against the Mets, it was a dead under, even though they won 1-0, 4-0, 3-2 for the A's. Pitching looked a lot better. So what do you get? Yeah, from Severino. Some of these guys have hit him. Nimmo had a decent series against the Dodgers, 5 for 10, or even Berger. Might have a piece of Berger
I got
here.
Berger home run prop because he's hit 2.
Yeah.
I saw that. He's hit 2 against Severino in the past.
If he's hitting 3rd or 4th, yeah, his RBI too is plus 150. So I have that. I really like as well. And yeah, Texas stays here. Eovaldi, after getting kind of tattooed, was a little bit better his last start because the one a couple before that he did not look right. So what do we get there? That's why the total's a little bit tricky, and the little ballpark we mentioned. No. But yeah, I think it leans to the Rangers. It's just you're not getting much value here. You love the Rangers that much? I don't. Not at minus 125, 130. At least against an A's team playing better. But the spot you mentioned isn't great for the A's.
Yeah, that was the first thing that stuck out is that just what a big advantage as far as scheduling and travel it is for Texas here in this game tonight. All right, last game of the night. It is Dodger Stadium. We've got the New York Mets taking on the LA Dodgers. Battle of lefties here. David Peterson for the Mets, Jack Robleski here for the Dodgers. LA Dodgers about minus 160 home favorites, 8.5 the total here in this one. Mets, it was not a pretty homestand, obviously, for the New York Mets. They've certainly, they were expecting this to be the big bounce back season, and here they are 7-9. 2 games below 500, bit of a middling team. They've lost 5 in a row, all of them at home. They lost the last 2 of the series against Arizona, swept at home by the A's, didn't hit a lick in that series. And that's not Dave Stewart from back in the day with the A's shutting them down in that series either. That's basically JT Ginn, Jorge Lopez, or Jacob Lopez, I should say, and Savali, of all people, for crying out loud. You can't hit against. I mean, that's the problem for the Mets. These aren't elite pitchers that have shut them down here over these last few games. So where the hell's the offense gone for the Mets? That's the problem. Now, Robleski, he's crafty enough that you could get a few decent innings out of him. He's shown the ability to do that before. The one thing I did notice about Peterson is there's a couple Dodgers that have roughed him up, and it leads me right into Freddie Freeman home run prop. Freddie Freeman has done big damage against David Peterson of the Mets in the past. So Freddie Freeman's home run prop certainly caught my eye here in this one. I don't really have much in this game other than that. I do like Freddie Freeman, whether it's RBI or home run. I do like that here in this game. I do think I like the way the Dodgers are playing. I don't like the way the Mets are playing, but I don't like this price on the Dodgers. So it's kind of a stay-off game. CMAC for me anyway. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at this, I think of under in this game, Mets team total under, but I don't know if I trust Robleski enough. He's probably just going to go 4. He's not going to see the lineup twice. So that's kind of the only thing in this game. And on the flip side, they're thinking this is under. Dodgers team total first 5 is plus money, plus 105. I kind of lean that way just from the numbers they can get to Peterson, who's good. He's better. He's better at home, but he hasn't looked great here on the road, even to start the year. So I think the Dodgers get to him. You talked about, I'm waiting. Dodgers one of the last here lineups that haven't come in. You talked about Freddie Freeman. Miguel Rojas, this is why he only plays. He hits lefties, Shout out to our guy, Miguel Rojas. Sorry, Blue Jay fans. But he has great numbers. 7 for 18.
Forever. Etched in history, yeah.
I know. 7 for 18 off Peterson. I mean, this guy this is what he comes in for, is to hit lefties. So maybe like over on 1.5 bases for him. And payoff 6 for 10 as well with the homer. The guy just keeps hitting. I think I might have two or smaller bets. So just waiting on the lineup on that, the RBI with him, and maybe the over 1.5, or look at Rojas in some situation. Should be down there at the lineup, 7, 8 type thing.
Oh yeah, he'll be at the bottom of the lineup. But as he showed in a certain
and I kind of want the Dodgers this team total, but I haven't bet it yet. Yeah. Bet 2.5. Seems like Peterson could maybe have a better night. Because normally that would be juiced to the over, I think.
Yeah.
That team total, first 5. Yeah, Peterson has looked awful this year. The guy can pitch though, and he was a lot better at home. But on the road, yeah, some of his numbers over the years.
Sometimes Monday nights at Dodger Stadium, especially when they've been home for a while now. Not a while. They've been home for one series against Texas, but sometimes you do get the Dodgers a little bit flat sometimes on these Monday nights. Not all the time, but
yeah,
like I said, that's why I'm a little bit reluctant here with taking them in this one. All right, there you have it. Anything else for Jack of the Day? I know we mentioned a bunch already. Is there anything you wanted to add?
That's about it. Just payoffs like I was talking about with the Dodgers. You mentioned Freeman, Berger. We talked about Baldwin, and Harper. They got some
Jordan Walker.
That's it for Jack.
Yep, Jordan Walker.
Yeah.
Him. Pete Alonso is ripped. Freaking Nelson for Arizona.
Nelson,
I think Pete Alonso plus 360. This could be the night the polar bear goes yard for the Baltimore Orioles tonight. So yeah, those are the main home run props here for me as far as the Monday slate. Good stuff. All right, that's it. Shout out to the chat: Steven Jackson, Thomas Corbett, Nick Handy, Chucktown 111, Robert Carlson, Brian Elfring, Thomas Corbett, Gerald Jones, Jorge Herrera, AJ Stogstill, Randall Sheffield. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. Hit the like button. Again, we're back tomorrow for the Tuesday show. And then, of course, Wednesday and Friday, members-only editions of the Hitting the Books show. All right, best bets to wrap it up. C-Mac, what do you got? Best bet.
Yeah, all right, best bet. Well, the first ones I put in. Cleveland, St. Louis, first 3 under 2.5, minus 115, best bet.
For me, it's been a nice little week last week, pretty much with best bets. Definitely had a winning week with best bets. Hopefully we can continue that here tonight. Let's go to, let me see. There actually are still a few 8.5s out there with Zona and Baltimore. We'll go with that. Give me that Arizona Baltimore over 8.5. Good night for hitting at Camden Yards. I think we'll see that game get up and over the total. So there you go. Arizona, Baltimore over 8.5, minus 130 for my best bet.
Get 8.5. There's a couple out there. I know it's juice, but there are a few out there. Minus 125, 130 in that game. Yeah, shout out to everyone. Hit the like, subscribe, become a member if you can. Yeah, Thomas was good. Nuggets came through. Saturday was good too. Hitting props just makes betting on baseball so much easier, and just huge plus monies cashing red hot. So that was good to see you last week and on Saturday. So let's keep it rolling, my brother, and we'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you guys.
I agree. Let's keep it rolling indeed. And let me say this about all these home run props we've mentioned. A lot of them are data where they've done damage against that particular pitcher, big damage. So hopefully we hit a couple of those home run props tonight.
Whoa.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think our track record's on. It's pretty good. And it always comes back to you get a guy when he's riding hot. You guys, maybe that's more I like it, but a guy who's even colder but has good numbers and just profiles so well against a pitcher. And everything kind of when you go through all this stuff. Yeah, he's very good on curveballs. You got a left-handed stuff like that. That's what I go through when we go through the hitter props. Yep. Especially the RBIs because that's usually a full unit for me. Especially now, I used to not. But the homers are always fun. I get people like them, but they are what they are.
Yeah,
bet responsibly.
Bet responsibly. Keep them small bets. You don't put full units or 5 units on a home run prop. Never. You keep them all in check in a reasonable amount. And if you do, there's nothing wrong with it. You can make a little money in the long term. All right, great show as always. Hit the like button on the way out. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.